What's up, guys? In this video we're going to be looking at the top stocks that are breaking out today and do a general recap of the stock market, what stocks that we need to be looking at, what are the events that affected the stock market today, and what are the important news events that are coming out tomorrow. I'm going to share with you guys exactly the scheduled events for tomorrow that could potentially affect the stock market, and we're going to be looking at in detail some of the stocks that broke out today and that have some expectations for a continuation for tomorrow. We're going to be looking at in detail about these stocks, guys, so make sure you stay tuned. Now let's get right into the video. Alright, guys, so before we get into the video, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and make sure you smash the like button, guys. But anyway, guys, this was the stock that I talked about on the previous video. I made this video around 4 or 5 days ago. We were talking about Idex. Now, this stock had a very good continuation. Today, it had a news that came out, and they talked about exactly that they're having additional orders. As you can see over here, the volume of the stock actually increased a lot. It's right now, it's currently trading at 356 million share of the stock is currently trading. As you can see over here, the stock is just breaking out to the upside a lot. We were talking about it when it was actually breaking out of the $1.50 area. We were looking for the price point of $2 to hold for a potential continuation to the upside. So this stock definitely continued the steam, and it eventually broke out of the highs of $2.50 and it went to $3.20 at market close right now. So the main news that kind of came out was, as you can see over here, the company is getting more orders. So this company is from China. So as they're getting more orders, they're releasing press releases related to this event and this kind of need for their EVs. So when they kind of release these kind of press releases, the stock continues to spike up to the upside, and a lot of users in Robinhood are starting to get involved in this stock. As you can see over here, one of the major increases of shares bought today was because of the Robinhood investors. So a lot of people in Robinhood, they started buying this stock, and that kind of helped these companies to spike up to the upside. But make sure that if you are buying these companies, make sure you do more research about it, because when you go in detail and do more research and go underneath the company to look at the accounting and things like that, they still haven't done in detail, and they still haven't provided a transparent accounting that needs to be required for them to kind of calculate exactly what's going to be the cost of these EVs, even if they deliver it, what's going to be their profit or revenues, and all these details are not really transparent. So it's just a headline that kind of came out, and you need to be super careful about it. So they said they're going to be doing more of the accounting, be more transparent with the US markets, because as you can see, Luckin Coffee had this kind of same issues because it was a Chinese company and the stock eventually kind of crashed. But this is also like a penny stock, so even if they are numbers, so they're not going to be that much regulated when you look at it, but they're still going to be, you need to pay attention to these companies when they report this kind of things. So this was the stock that this major investors are buying on Robinhood right now, and we talked about it a few days ago. Now, if there's going to be potential continuation to the upside, if you actually were involved in it, I would definitely sell out and lock in the profit, because you never know exactly if this is continued to go to the upside. But it made a high of $4. You lock in your profit, and just if you have a few shares extra, you let it ride, or just have a plan for specific when you get involved in this kind of a very profitable situation, because the stock is up 48.20%. So now let's get back to the overall market, guys. I just want to do a quick recap exactly what happened. As you can see over here, we had a positive day, even though there was a lot of issues that kind of came out with the pandemic, and the pandemic numbers was kind of increasing over the weekend too. And also, guys, I'm going to be using this candlestick chart. So if you are new to the channel, or if you're new to the candlesticks, I made a video last week specifically about these candlesticks. If you want to know how to read them or how to understand them, I made a video. It's going to be a link in the description box. You can go and check out that video, guys. And also, I'm going to be explaining to you guys in detail about exactly what specifically affected the stock market for today. As you can see, the numbers that we talked about yesterday that was coming out was the home sales number. They're actually lower, so that did not really affect it. And I also made a trade, an options trade. I'm going to talk about it later on at the end of the video. Just make sure you stick around. But as you can see over here, we had a pretty good green day. So the majority of the stock market actually has a positive day, as you can see over here at the index over here, the heat map index over here. As you can see, the technology sector has been hot. Microsoft all-time highs, Apple all-time highs, Netflix all-time highs, Amazon, it's just breaking out. So that was really good. And also some of the financial credit services also have a green day over here, the utilities. So the majority of the stock market kind of participated, but the financials were kind of the one that was lagging. So that is one of the things that we need to be looking at. But one of the main news that kind of came out and that kind of affected, the market was Apple. Apple hit a 52-week highs, as you can see over here, that they said that they're going to be changing some of the processors. They're going to be they used to use Intel's processor, so now they're going to be using their own processor. So that was one of the news that kind of came out from Apple stock. As you can see, it hit like a 52-week high of $358.87, and also Netflix also broke out. In general, the Nasdaq hit it's unbelievable. It hit like an all-time highs. With all this pandemic thing going on, the cases spiking up and things like that. The technology sector has been spiking up, but Netflix is also in one of the the COVID-19 stocks, because a lot of people, if they stay home, they still watch their Netflix shows. So also Microsoft hit all-time highs. Basically, these major companies, basically the FANG stocks, perform very, very fantastic today. So that's why they kind of helped the overall market to go to the upside. The other factor in the other sector that got hit pretty big, that got hit to the downside, not pretty big, but it's like the COVID-19. If the numbers of cases rise up a lot, these companies that are going to be affected is going to be the airlines, the cruise lines and things like that. And as you can see over here, American Airlines pulled back, the stock pulled back, it actually gapped down. It finished green over here, but the previous closed around $16 and it went down to $14.50. So it went down 6.75%. And United Airlines also went down to, 0.81%. So it's not actually that bad, United Airlines, but the other cruise line stocks also went down because, when the case numbers increase, there's a potential for these companies, to pull back because of that effect that, the COVID-19 virus has on these specific sectors. So the other kind of important news that kind of came out, individual stock, was SPECs. So SPEC is the Virgin Galactic, so they made an agreement with NASA. They're going to be using their company to fly astronauts to the International Space Station. So that is one of the news that kind of came out, and the stock definitely spikes up. As you can see over here in the past, the stock actually performs pretty good. It tends to trend to the upside. If it continues to go to the upside, it goes to the upside. If it goes to the downside, because this is the pandemic thing, but it went down. But once it chooses a side, it will definitely will try to go to the upside. If it has a clear trend, it will follow the trend into the upside, or to the downside. And as you can see over here, it was kind of in a range. So this news is probably a very, very good news, because this is one of the things the SPACs, or one of the the catalysts that this company needs for it to kind of pick a direction where it was kind of in the middle range. It did not have any kind of momentum to go to the downside, to the upside. But now this is a great news that the company had made an agreement with NASA. So this is huge, because NASA was working with SpaceX. Now it's working with SPEC, so that's fantastic. They're going to be transporting, they're planning to transport individuals and also astronauts to the International Space Station. So that is going to be the deal, the agreement that they kind of place. And a lot of people were getting involved with this company, in the past, when they were actually talking about the space tourism and things like that. So this is the stocks that kind of broke out. Now let's go back and see the other stocks that we're going to be looking for. So as you can see, Idex is also one of the stocks that we talked about yesterday, and then we kind of broke out today. Also, we're looking at the $2 mark area. It kind of broke out of this area, and it did not pull back. So that was one of the good things that you want to be looking at. If it doesn't pull back, there's going to be continuation. So a lot of people were asking me okay, these stocks that I covered already broke out. So we want to look at the stocks that have not broken out yet. But even if these stocks broke out, there's going to be definitely a continuation. So that's why you have to watch them, because there's definitely going to be a continuation if they do not lose the gains that they've made. So you have to really, really understand that. and keep an eye on them. And when they actually break out, there's definitely going to be spike up and a continuation to the upside. Then you can kind of figure out exactly what are the price point levels so you can get involved with it, and then arrange a good risk reward trade, and then you can trade them as you will. So that is one of the things you need to watch for. All right, so another important news that's going to be coming out for tomorrow, an event that is going to be important that can affect it. It's like kind of like a release that's going to potentially affect the market. It's going to be for June 23rd at 9:45. The market manufacturing index flash is going to be reported. It's going to be for June. The previous was 39.8, so we're going to be expecting that. And also for 9:45 a.m., the market service index flash is going to be reported. The 10 a.m. is going to be the new home sales for May is going to be reported. So the previous one was 623,000 and the medium forecast is 650,000. So there's going to be a slight increase that they're expecting for new home sales. So those numbers, if they're kind of huge, fluctuations between that, the market can definitely have an effect on that. And also at 1 p.m. is going to be the St. Louis Fed President James Bullard speaks. So just keep an eye on these specific time frames if you're actually actively trading in the stock market, because there's going to be news events that can potentially affect the stock market. Just keep in mind that these stocks have the stock market can react to these specific press releases or news that can come out of these stocks. So another important things that I want to talk about today is basically one of the trades that I placed was an option. I made an options trade, so I'm going to be starting using Ali. So I wanted to test it out exactly what is going to be their platform. If you're interested in using their platform, I never use it because I used to use Robinhood account, but now I want to be testing out Ali Invest because Robinhood is having a lot of issues. So I wanted to use it. I wanted to test it out. So there's going to be a small amount of money that I'm going to be using to test out their platform to see exactly if it's good or not. So I placed a few trades on it. I'm going to show you guys exactly some of the trades that I placed. And as you can see over here, I placed a trade on SPY. So it was have like a really small amount of money in there. So I'm going to show you guys every week some of the trades that I took. So I'm probably going to be showing you guys every time I place a trade. I'm going to show you guys. So one of the trades that I placed was today was on SPY. So I shorted an iron condors as an options trade. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what that trade was. So we're up like 33%. I mean $33. So that's like 20.15% of the account, the initial account that we had. So since we did not actually sell off, since we didn't actually gap down a lot because of the COVID-19 numbers and things like that, so I just anticipated that maybe the market is not going to sell off. So what I did was I basically sold some of the put options. I sold some put options that are close to $308 strike price put options, and I also sold the 312 call options. So that's basically going to be an iron condor basically. So, and it kind of worked out to staying in that range, so I was able to lock in the profits. So that's why I placed a trade, because of it did not actually drastically gap down because the numbers were significantly increasing to the upside and the market didn't actually react to the downside. So that is one of the things that I look for. If there's not going to be an overreaction, then it's not going to do anything. The market is not basically not going to do anything. It's just going to be in the range, and the news is already just digested. So that is one of the strategies that I use. But I'm going to show you guys, if I place other trades, and next week, my plan is to trade on Wednesday and Friday. So I'm going to show you guys exactly my trades and things like that, and how the platform is better than Robinhood or not. It's kind of like laggy, and there's not like a software and things like that you need to do it, but I'm still getting used to it. So, and also I placed multiple trades on it to get executed. So, just like on Robinhood, you have to place multiple trades, cancel it before you get a fill. So there's nothing different, but I still have to pay $2 in commissions. The profit was supposed to be like $36, but I paid like $2 and like something cents of commissions. But hey, we joined. We started like around $50 something, and now we're up to $100. So that's pretty good within one day. That's a good profit, guys. But I'm going to be showing you guys exactly these trades too. So if you're new to this channel, guys, make sure if you enjoyed this recap of the stock market and the penny stock picks and the recap videos, make sure you like the video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be trying to make these videos every single day. What are the important things that you need to be looking for tomorrow? What are the events that kind of happened today, and what you need to be keeping an eye on for the overall stock market? So make sure you subscribe, guys, but I'll catch you guys on the next video. So peace out.